Alright, hello. Wherever you're on this planet, I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to my channel on Bible topics. But, as I always have to say, if you're atheist, agnostic, Buddhist, Muslim, or Hindu, or one of the other various types of faith out there, I still welcome you to stay. Because, like I always love to say, I was looking at it today. The Dead Sea Scrolls are at least 2,500 years old. So the Bible, just by its age, got some clout to it. You can say, if it's a God, you can say, since the Bible's so old, maybe he did give them people inspiration to write those words because it's so old. Today, my topic, as you can say, is kisses. We rarely ever hear this. The Bible, people, and God is affectionate. I'm going to say that again. You don't hear that in churches, because I said the churches make ridiculous looking sermon titles like one step, two step, God got your back. Don't turn left, don't turn right, God is with you. You know them titles like that. When you look on YouTube, them sermon titles. They never get into the deep parts of the Bible. How many times have you heard them ever talk about God as an affectionate God? The people in the Bible show, at least they show some type of appreciation for each other. Like in the Western world, we don't do this much kissing anymore. We may kiss our family members, but other than that, we don't do that much. And if we do for our family members, only select ones. So, what does the Bible show and reveal about kissing, or about affection, or about love in general? So let's begin our topic and let's see what we can cover about what is revealed within the Bible about simple kissing. What does it say? Alright, so here we go. Let's go to first slide. It's coming from Genesis chapter 29, verse 13. So when Laban heard the news of Jacob, wrong one. So when Laban heard the news of Jacob, so when he heard the news of Jacob, let me read that again. I'm trying to get my little pen set up. I'm sorry. So when Laban heard the news that Jacob, his sister's son, so we see right now it says sister's son. Let me underline that. So this has whatever happening. It's his sister's son. So it got deep family ties. He ran. He didn't walk. It said he ran to meet him and embraced him. Okay, that's affection right there. A hug. And, okay, here the big thing the Western world don't do. Kissed him and brought him to his house. Then related to Laban all these things. Let me read it again. Make it clear. So when Laban heard the news of Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. Then he related to Laban all these things. So what we see right there, the people in the Bible, they have some emotional attachments to each other because Laban, he did two things. He embraced him, gave him a nice hug, and he kissed him. Like I said, the Bible does show that humans have some appreciation for one another. All right, let's keep going. Next thing. Let's keep going to the next one. Alright, this comes from Genesis chapter 27, verse 26 to 27. Let's see what it says. Then his father Isaac said to him, so this is talking about Isaac, please come close and kiss me, my son. So here, the sons and the father, they kiss each other. And you see, like I have my picture here, Well, here they kiss him lip to lip, but you know, most of the time we kiss to the cheeks, but they kiss to the cheeks. But these two little kids kissing, so little kids, we don't mind if they kiss lip to lip. So kiss me, my son. So he came close and kissed him. See, he kissed his father. And when he smelled the smell of his garments, he blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. And that's a topic for another day. But my thing in this topic is like the people in the Bible, which most people never talk about, they had some affection for one another. We never hear about that. They had affection. They had love for one another. So let's keep going. This is Genesis chapter 33, verse 4. Then Esau, okay, it's two brothers, Jacob and his brother Esau, ran to meet him, his brother, and embraced him. Here we go again. Not just a kiss, but an embrace. He hugged him, and he fell on his neck and kissed him. And it's taking a step further. And they wept. Two men crying. Two men kissing each other. Like my picture right here. Kissing on the cheek. And that's the most time how we equate kissing. No, that's how we equate it use of time. That's the most simplest form of showing expression, kissing each other on the cheek. I don't know how they kissed each other, but it just said they kissed one another. I don't know exactly how they did it, but the Bible said they kissed one another. This is First Peter. Now we're jumping into the New Testament. So before all three passages came from the Old Testament, now we jump into the New Testament and see what the New Testament says. Because you know, some people like to say, this the Old Testament and this the New Testament. Some people like to make them two separate entities. But we see right here now, we got scriptures from the Old and from the New. Not just from one section. So let's see what the scripture right here says. This First Peter chapter 5 verse 14. Now, this is the actual Peter, an Israelite. Peter, the Israelite, talking to people. Peter, the Israelite, telling people what to do. Not Paul, because you know, I think Paul wrote 27 books, and the other one's written by Peter, John, Jude, you know, etc. So let's see what he said. This is what Peter said. Greet one another with a kiss. He said, look, man, when you first walk into each other's presence, because he said, greet right here. Greet. Soon as you walk into another child of God or follower of the way presence, you give them a kiss. Don't wait 5 minutes later. Don't wait 10 minutes later. He said, look, soon as you greet with a kiss of love. So this is deeper. Not a brotherly kiss, but the God type of kiss. A kiss of deep love. Peace be to you all who are in Christ. So Peter said, an Israelite said, look, soon, and we saw most of the passages, they was greeting each other like Esau greeted his brother, Laban greeted his nephew. So that was even in the Old Testament. So the Old Testament when they greeted one another. And that's why Peter's still saying it, because you know, that was a typical thing of their day. When you greet someone, give him a kiss. So Peter's still hammering it to his fellow, because you know, when Peter wrote his Gospels, he mostly wrote those to the Israelite, the people of Israel. You know, Paul, when he was writing his letters, you know, it was basically for the Gentiles. So Peter's still telling the Israelites, keep up the tradition that our fathers did in the Old Testament. When you meet a brother or a sister, a fellow Israelite, give them a kiss. Kiss them. Show them love. Alright, next, we come into 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 33. So when Joab came to the king and told him, he called for Absalom. You know, that's King David's son. Thus he came to the king and prostrated himself. That means to stretch yourself out. Humble yourself. Prostrate. That's lay straight out. Humble yourself. Himself on his face to the ground before the king. And the king kissed Absalom, his son. So you remember, King David basically doing what Peter just now said. David walked into his presence of his son. His son was prostrate on the ground. So David had to bend down and kiss his son. That's how he greeted his son, with a kiss. So you see right here, men in the Bible, women in the Bible, they wasn't acting sedity. They wasn't acting sedity and sophisticated. They said, give a kiss. The first time you meet somebody, when they come in your presence, give them a kiss. No handshaking. I don't think no handshaking was in the Bible. No handshaking there. Now, we're still in the New Testament. As I said, we're in the New Testament, people. We did something from the Old, now we're in the New. So it's all coming together. Nobody can say the Old Testament did this, the New Testament did that. They both said kiss. Luke chapter 7, verse 45. You gave me no kiss. So that's basically an insult. You gave me no kiss. Back then, that's like an insult. But from the time I came in, she has not ceased to kiss my feet. Now, this is Jesus talking here. And allegedly, like we like to say, this is Mary Magdalene, and the prostitute who came to Jesus' feet and begged for his forgiveness. Jesus told the people, so the religious leader was rude to Jesus. That was rude back in that day. You ain't give him a kiss, a sign of rudeness. Because Jesus said, you didn't give me no kiss. You just said, come in, have a seat, let's eat. Jesus said, you didn't give me no respect. Because back in that day, as we saw in the Old Testament, that was a sign of affection. A kiss was a sign of respect, of wishing you well-being. Jesus basically was telling that man, since you didn't give me no kiss, you didn't care about my progress, you didn't care about my welfare, you didn't care about God blessing me, because you didn't even give me a kiss. But this lady, she took it a step further, because we never read that before. Every time somebody else got a kiss and other thing, in the other passage we read, you know they probably got kissed on the face. More than likely, they got kissed on the face, like these images I got kissed on the face. That's what humans usually kiss another human at, on the face. But Jesus took the step further and said, look, she said, this lady showed me so much adoration. She so much respect that she got down and kissed my dirty feet. Because remember back in those days, from what we know, they didn't have Nikes. They didn't have Gator shoes. They didn't have Adidas. You know my point. Or closed shoes. From what we know, they wore sandals back then. From what we know, I didn't live back then. I believe they wore sandals. So Jesus said, since you couldn't even give me a kiss, you know that God let Jesus come in the house with dirty feet. Because I heard back in that time, in Jesus' time, it was customary to wash your guests' feet. If the man couldn't give Jesus a kiss, there's a high chance he didn't even bother washing his feet. But Jesus said, look, you didn't give me a kiss, you didn't wash my feet, but this woman, who don't even know who I am, you know me, Pharisee, but she don't know me. She came and humbled herself and did something that most people never do. She kissed my dirty feet with dust on them. So she took it to a whole new level. She completely humbled herself to Jesus. She completely showed how much she respected him. The Pharisee didn't even give him one kiss. Not one. The Pharisee didn't give him no respect. This was to say, I said we're still in the New Testament. This is coming from the book of Romans, chapter 16, verse 16. Greet, this is Paul talking now. He's talking to the Gentiles, like I say, Romans, so more than likely, he wrote this book for the Roman people. It was sent to Rome. Greet one another. Here we go again with that word, greet. Soon as you come into my presence, soon as you walk into my presence. Greet one another with a holy, godly kiss. All the churches of Christ greet you. As I said earlier, right here, he said, look, soon as you walk in my presence, soon as you walk in their presence, give them a kiss. And not just any kiss, a godly kiss, a holy kiss. And when he about holy, a kiss of love, attentiveness, and care. Give them that type of kiss to say, I care about you being here. I appreciate being in your presence. That type of a kiss. I appreciate you. I recognize you and I'm glad you're here with me. That type of kiss, a kiss of love, a holy kiss, a kiss of appreciation. Alright, so now we're jumping back to the Old Testament. We jump back to Ruth, chapter 1, verse 14. Let's see what the book of Ruth said. And they lifted up their voices and wept. See, they crying here. They're crying. I don't know why. And wept again. And Oprah kissed her mother-in-law. So the daughter-in-law has given her mother-in-law a kiss. But Ruth clung to her. So if you want to learn more about Ruth, you go to the book of Ruth and learn about that. Because from what I know about the book of Ruth, the mother lost her husband, lost her two sons, or lost her sons, her several sons. She said, look, my daughters, I don't have my husband, I don't have my sons. You are of childbearing years. She was telling her daughter-in-laws, go back to your home and get remarried and raise a family. The other daughter-in-laws, they went. But you saw right here when they went, they was crying. They didn't just say, okay, bye. We leaving now. No. All of them. All her daughter-in-laws wept. And Oprah kissed her mother-in-law. And I'm sure they all kissed their mother-in-law. Because when you read the book of Ruth, they all seem to have great admiration for their mother-in-law. They loved her. But Ruth took it to another level. You can go on book of Ruth and read about how Ruth took it to another level. But my point is, there was weeping. That's number one. And number two, they kissed their mother-in-law. And you definitely know, if it's their mother-in-law, you definitely know they had a great sense of admiration, a great sense of love for their mother-in-law, who they kissed. Let's keep going on to our next scripture. All right, now we're jumping back to the New Testament. We're jumping to the book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 37. And they began to weep. See, in the Bible time, when it was something emotional, they didn't hold back their tears. So I can call this weeping and kissing. Weeping and kissing. I think I'm going to make that my YouTube title. Weeping and kissing. So most of the time we see most people here, they was weeping and crying. And they began to weep aloud. And it was loud weeping. It was no soft weep. They weep loud. You can hear it there. And you know how that loud crying sound. When it's a loud cry, it's like that thing coming from your gut. It's coming from your heart. So it was some serious crying. To weep aloud and embrace Paul. Yes, Paul was held a prisoner. And they took it a step further. And they repeatedly kissed him. They didn't just kiss Paul once. They loved him so much that they kissed him multiple times. When he got released from that jail cell. If you want to read about what happened to Paul, go to Acts chapter 20. You know, probably 18, 19, and 20. They see what happened to Paul. But the people, the believers, they wept aloud when they saw him. They hugged him. And they didn't let him go when they kissed him. They loved him so much, they kissed him over them. So we see right here, I tell you people, we don't hear this a lot in these churches or these synagogues. We don't hear this a lot. Compared to this time period, the people of the Bible show a greater level of love than we show today. As I said earlier, today we don't kiss a lot. We shake hands or do the arm bend since COVID happened. You know how you touch the other person's elbows with the thing. But we don't kiss a lot. Definitely, especially men. Yes, a man, we may kiss a woman, and a woman may kiss a man. But for the most part, men don't kiss no men in the Western world where I live at. I don't kiss men. I said, if it's not my family member, if it's my family member, I may give them a kiss. But not all of them. I just give the ones who I love the most a kiss. If it's just a general family member, I don't even kiss them. So we see in this biblical time, men kiss men. We knew to kiss women, but men kiss men. And they didn't think nothing of it either. They didn't think nothing of it. And in the period that we live in, people start thinking if you kiss another man. But they didn't think nothing about that back then. Alright, so now we're jumping back to the Old Testament again, like we did with Ruth. And now with Paul, we're not coming to the New Testament. Then we jump back to the Old Testament. We're in Proverbs chapter 27, verse 6. Faithful are the wounds of our friend. Yes, that means they stick by you. But deceitful are the kisses of the enemy. So now we're taking it to a new level here. Even our enemies may give us a kiss. And usually when they're giving us a kiss, it's a kiss of betrayal. As we're going to learn in the next thing. I'm going to say it again. Even your enemy may give you a kiss. But when they give you a kiss, it's not out of no love. When they give you a kiss, they usually want something to happen to you, and it's not good. They usually kiss you out of some form of betrayal. That's why their kisses are deceitful and dastardly. Alright, let's move on. Alright, here we go. We jump into the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 47 to 48. While he was still speaking, behold, a crowd, so a bunch of people, behold, a crowd came, and the one called Judas said, okay, here our boy Judas. So we know this, from what we know of Judas, we know this not going to turn out good. One of the 12 was preceding them, and he approached Jesus to, okay, what he did, he kissed Jesus. But Jesus said to him, Judas, are you betraying me? Are you deceiving me, the Son of Man, with a kiss? Like I just now said several seconds ago, the people who want to stab you in the back, the deceitful person, they give you a kiss too. But when they give you a kiss, it's a kiss of betrayal. Like we see here. Judas gave Jesus a kiss of betrayal. But most of the part in the scriptures, like most of the time in life, when you get a kiss, like we saw with these several passages, most of the time when you get a kiss, it's a kiss of love, adoration, affection, and joy, happiness, etc. But sometimes, a little 20%, 30% of the time, you may get a kiss on your cheek to deceive you, to harm you, to hurt you, to point you out to the crowd that this the person you have to get, like Judas now did to Jesus. Judas only gave Jesus a kiss, not out of love, not out of adoration. He only gave him the kiss so the guards can come and get him. That's why he got that kiss. So that's it, my good people. That's it, my good people. But kisses and the Bible, we never hear about that. Never, rather, do we hear about how much they seem to have some type of care for one another in the Bible. Heavenly Father, thank you for this lesson. Thank you for putting in my heart to reveal more about your word and how the people in that biblical period lived. Compared to the Western world today, they showed genuine emotion when someone came into their presence. They showed, I'm on your side. They show